I'm gonna break down 3 golden rules that you should be thinking about when you are creating your lesson plans and thinking about that hook, or what's gonna get your students excited about this lesson. Today we're gonna dive into your lesson planning a little deeper. We're gonna break down each of those sections and really understand how does this support instruction and your students' learning. If you haven't had a chance, make sure you view my lesson planning alignment video to give you tips and tricks on how to best align your lesson plan. But today we're gonna focus on that hook. That piece of your lesson plan that is going to engage your students right away. Some lesson plans call it your anticipatory set, but for today, we're really gonna dive into what does a hook look like to engage your students and get them motivated. So I want you to think about the last time you went to the movies. And before the lights dimmed and you were ready for that movie, you saw trailers of new movies coming out. These were glimpses or snapshots into those movies. It didn't tell you the full beginning, middle, and end of the movie, but it gave you just enough of that movie where you thought, man, I can't wait to go see that movie. That's the exact same thing that your hook should do for your students. It is that anticipatory set or hook that grabs your students' attention and gets them excited for that feature film. So my plan today is to give you those 3 golden rules for how to create an engaging hook that will get your students excited for your lesson plan. The first thing I want to dive into is your hook should be quick. You need to make this a quick 3 to 5 minute activity that kind of gets the students into your lesson. It's kind of like a teaser. You might use a short video, you might use kind of a weird or exciting or engaging visual that gets your students interested in diving deeper. Maybe it's a mystery bag, something that gets your students thinking and wanting to know what that learning is going to be about. It is that curiosity. The second thing, don't just recite the learning target. I can't tell you how many lesson plans I review on a weekly basis where the students write out the learning target or what it is that the students are doing in the lesson. And they ask the students to repeat that. So they might say for their hook, today we are going to be learning about triangles. Your learning target is students will be able to identify triangles. Repeat after me. And that is all. That is not going to engage your students. It is not going to get them interested in the learning. In fact, it's probably going to increase some lack of focus, behaviors, because students immediately have lost that engagement. And third, do not teach new content. This is not the opportunity for you to bring in new teaching. Your hook is just that. It is a fun and engaging way to get the students excited for their movie or the lesson that you are going to teach. If you are giving them new skills, that needs to be a part of the lesson, not the hook. So let's look at 3 different examples. Let's say we're teaching kindergarten shapes. You draw a giant circle and triangle on the board, and then you kind of look at it and you have that face where you look confused, and you might say to the class, I found these on the board this morning and I have no idea what they are. Quickly whisper to your neighbor, what do you think these are? Instantly, you're giving them something to do, you're getting them excited. It's kind of like a competition or a game. This is an engaging hook, getting them ready to teach them about shapes. Your next lesson is about phonics, and you are going to be teaching them the letter H. You might hold up a mystery bag and you tell the class, there is an item inside this bag, and it starts with a secret sound. You let them ask you 5 questions to try to figure out what is inside that bag. And then eventually you pull out, let's say, a hat, and you say, what sound do you hear at the beginning of hat? And now you start your lesson teaching them about the letter H. That mystery bag is what is hooking them into that lesson. Let's go a little higher. Let's say we're doing middle school science, and you are going to be teaching them about chemical reaction. Get out a bottle of Diet Coke and a Mentos. We've all seen this, and you might hold these 2 up and say, what do you think is gonna happen if I put these Mentos into the Diet Coke? Has anybody seen this? Because oftentimes at this age, they may have already seen something like this. And then you might put the question on the board. What is going to happen? And allow students to make predictions. Instantly, you have engaged them. So remember, our 3 big tips. Make it a quick, no more than 3 to 5 minute activity. You are not just repeating the learning target. Students do not want to recite that as their engaging hook into the lesson, and it should not be teaching new material. I hope that you have fun, and let's continue to dive into each part of the lesson plan as we are on that pathway to the classroom.